I'm Janice. 2 months ago, I stood at my sister's grave, with my German shepherd, Bella, quietly beside me. I was placing fresh tulips on the black granite headstone. Tulips were her favorite. It seemed odd for someone as practical as her to love something so delicate and colorful, but she did. She always had a tulip in a vase on her desk, replacing it every week without fail. The investigators' report had come out that morning, confirming what we already suspected. A heating contractor had installed a critical valve backward during a rush to meet our office's renovation deadline. The old building was grandfathered in under previous safety codes, so there were no carbon monoxide detectors in the conference room. 23 people lost their lives due to a combination of negligence, outdated regulations, and terrible timing. Bella sat perfectly still, her head resting against the gravestone, just like she did every time we visited. She'd let out a soft whine, just once, and then fall silent. I believed what the grief counselor said, that dogs understand death in their own way. Bella had saved my life, but she couldn't save everyone. The weight of that knowledge seemed to rest on her shoulders as heavily as it did on mine. The lawsuit settlements had made me wealthy in the worst possible way. The money came from my sister's death, from my co-workers' deaths, from a tragedy that should never have happened. At first, I tried to refuse it, but my parents convinced me to take it and do something meaningful with it. That's how the Lily Thompson Foundation was born. We provided free carbon monoxide detectors and air quality monitoring systems to startups and small businesses that couldn't afford proper safety equipment. In just 8 weeks, we'd already installed systems in 47 offices across the state. 3 of them had existing gas leaks that nobody knew about. Bella came with me to every installation, and I'd started training her officially as a detection dog. German shepherds have incredible noses, capable of detecting chemical changes that humans would never notice. She'd already alerted to 2 other potential dangers beyond gas leaks, including an electrical fire hazard that could have killed dozens. But let me take you back to that fateful day. I'm a software engineer at a tech startup in Seattle. My sister, Lily, was 26, 4 years younger than me. She was the responsible one in the family. Our parents were free-spirited artists who often got caught up in their own creative projects, leaving Lily and me to fend for ourselves at times. Lily had a knack for organization and took on the role of the family's rock. She bought her first condo at 24 while I was still struggling to pay off my student loans. For the past 4 years, my alarm went off at 5:30 a.m. Sharp. Bella would already be awake, sitting beside my bed with her tail wagging, ready for our morning routine. First, I'd make coffee, then feed Bella, and take her for a quick walk around the neighborhood before I showered and headed to work. It was like clockwork, and Bella thrived on routine just as much as I did. That Tuesday was supposed to be the biggest day of my career. Our startup was launching a revolutionary app that had taken 2 years to develop. Lily had gotten me the job when I was unemployed and desperate. She worked as the office manager and basically ran the place while our CEO, Victor, handled investors. The night before, Lily had texted me. "Don't forget about tomorrow's meeting. 8 a.m. Sharp. Victor's announcing equity packages for everyone. This could be life-changing money, Janice." I texted back, "I'll be there." "Want me to pick you up?" She replied, "No, I'll drive myself. I need to get there early to set up the conference room, but don't you dare be late. I've been talking you up to Victor for months." But that morning, something was off from the moment I opened my eyes at 4 a.m. It wasn't the alarm, it was Bella. She was pawing at my shoulder, whining in a way I'd never heard before. It wasn't her usual "I need to go outside" whine or her "I'm hungry" whine. This was different, desperate. I sat up in bed and asked, "What's wrong, girl?" She immediately ran to the bedroom door, then back to me, then back to the door again. I got up and followed her to the living room, checking the windows for intruders. There was nothing. I opened the back door, thinking maybe she was sick and needed to go out. But she refused to go past the doorway. Instead, she grabbed my pajama sleeve with her teeth and pulled me back inside. I knelt down to check her over. "Bella, you're freaking me out." There were no injuries, no obvious pain, but her whole body was tense, and she kept sniffing the air like she was tracking something. I tried to go back to bed, but she jumped on the bed, something she knew was off limits, and positioned herself between me and the door. Every time I tried to move, she'd push me back with her head. At 5:30, when my alarm went off, I thought whatever was bothering her had passed. I stood up to start getting ready. Bella immediately blocked my path, her stance wide and firm. "Come on, Bella. I need to get ready for work." She didn't move. I tried to step around her, and she sidestepped with me like we were dancing. Under different circumstances, it would have been funny, but something in her eyes stopped me from laughing. She looked terrified. I went to my closet and pulled out my work clothes. Bella watched every move. The moment I finished getting dressed and reached for my laptop bag, she lost it. A deep, guttural growl rumbled from her chest. This wasn't playful or a warning, it was primal. I said sharply, "Bella, what has gotten into you?" She positioned herself directly in front of the bedroom door, every muscle in her body rigid, her lips pulled back, showing teeth I'd only seen her use on chew toys. This wasn't my gentle, goofy dog anymore, this was a guardian determined to keep me inside. I grabbed my phone to check the time. It was 6:45. If I didn't leave soon, I'd hit traffic and be late for the most important meeting of my career. Lily would kill me. Victor would probably fire me. 2 years of 100-hour weeks would be for nothing. I commanded, "Bella, move." She'd never disobeyed a direct command before, but this time, she didn't budge. If anything, she pressed herself harder against the door. Just then, my phone rang. Lily's picture lit up the screen, the one from last summer where she was wearing a bright yellow sun hat. "Janice, please tell me you're in your car," she said without even saying hello. I replied, "Lily, something's wrong with Bella. She won't let me leave my room." She scoffed, "Are you seriously right now? Your dog ate your homework?" "I'm not joking. She's acting insane. She's growling at me." "Then put her in the bathroom and get your butt to work. Victor specifically asked me if you'd be here. This is important, Janice, not just for you, for both of us." I could hear the frustration in her voice. Lily had put her reputation on the line to get me this job. She'd vouched for me when I had no experience in app development. She'd covered for me when I made mistakes in my first few months. And now, on the day it all paid off, I was calling with the world's lamiest excuse. "Give me 10 minutes, I said. I'll figure something out." "You have 5, she said and hung up. I looked at Bella. She stared back, unblinking. There was something in her eyes I'd seen only once before, when an aggressive dog at the park had charged at me. It was pure protective instinct. I remembered something then, something weird from the night before. When I'd gotten home from work, there had been a strange smell in the hallway of my apartment building, sweet and metallic, like copper mixed with honey. I thought maybe someone had spilled something, but now Bella kept sniffing the air in that same urgent way. My phone buzzed. A text from Lily, "I'm driving to your apartment right now. You better be dressed." 5 minutes later, I heard her car pull up. Her old Volkswagen Beetle had a distinctive rattle. She had the money for a new car, but she always said, "It still runs perfect." Why waste money? The moment Lily's footsteps hit the stairs outside, Bella went ballistic. Not just barking, but throwing herself against the door, scratching at the wood like she was trying to dig through it. The sound that came out of Bella's throat when Lily knocked on my apartment door was unlike anything I'd ever heard from her. It started as a bark but morphed into something between a howl and a scream. She threw her entire 90 lb body against the door so hard that picture frames rattled on my walls. Janice, open this door right now, Lily's voice carried through the wood, sharp with annoyance. I can hear Bella. Just grab her collar and move her. We don't have time for this drama. She knocked harder, and Bella matched her intensity, clawing at the door so frantically that wood shavings started falling to the floor. I grabbed Bella's collar to pull her back, and she spun around to face me. Her teeth were inches from my hand, foam gathering at the corners of her mouth, but she didn't bite. She held that position, trembling violently, her eyes locked on mine. In that moment, I understood something that chilled me to my core. She wasn't threatening me, she was begging me. That's it. I'm using my key, Lily announced. I heard her fumbling with her keychain, the one I'd given her for emergencies. Bella must have heard it, too, because she launched herself at the door handle, actually managing to hit the deadbolt with her paw, engaging it right as Lily tried to turn her key. What the hell? Janice, did you just lock me out? Are you serious right now? The hurt in her voice cut deep. She thought I was choosing my dog over her, over my career, over everything she'd done for me. My phone started ringing immediately. I didn't need to look to know it was her. I answered, trying to keep my voice calm while Bella continued her guard stance at the door. Lily, I swear something is really wrong. Bella has never acted like this. Maybe she's sick or rabid or something. There was silence on the other end for a moment, then a heavy sigh. Janice, listen to yourself. Your perfectly healthy dog suddenly goes crazy on the exact morning of the most important meeting of your career? You're scared. I get it. This is big money we're talking about, but you can't hide behind your dog. I knew she was wrong, but I understood why she thought that. I'd hidden behind excuses before. When our parents got lost in an art project and forgot to pay the bills, I'd blamed it on a faulty bank transfer. Lily had covered for me, made excuses to the creditors, protected me from the consequences. But this was different. This was real. Look through your peephole, Lily said, her voice softer now. I'm standing right here. Do I look dangerous to you? It's just me, your annoying little sister who's trying to help you succeed for once in your life. I looked through the peephole. There she was, still in her professional suit, her blonde hair pulled back in a tight ponytail. She held up her phone and gave a small wave, attempting a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Bella sensed me moving toward the door and positioned herself between me and the handle again. When I reached for it anyway, she did something that broke my heart. She sat down, placed both paws on my chest, and pushed me backward. Then she looked into my eyes and whined, a soft pleading sound. Her tail wasn't wagging. Her ears were flat against her head. Every inch of her body language screamed danger, but not from her, from something else, something outside. You know what? Fine, Lily's voice cracked through the door. I've spent 2 years making sure you didn't fail at this job. I've covered for every mistake, every missed deadline, every time you froze up in a presentation, and this is how you repay me? By bailing on the one day I asked you to show up? When Victor fires you, don't call me. When you can't make rent, don't call me. I'm done being your safety net, Janice. The car door slammed. The engine started with that familiar rattle. As her car pulled away, Bella finally relaxed slightly, though she maintained her position at the door. She looked up at me with those brown eyes, and I swear I saw relief mixed with the fear, but the guilt was already eating at me. I stood there for a full minute after Lily's car disappeared, my hand still on the doorknob, torn between chasing after her and trusting the instinct that had kept me frozen in place. Bella had moved away from the door but stayed close, her eyes tracking my every movement. The way she looked at me wasn't aggressive anymore. It was almost grateful, like I'd passed some kind of test. That's when I made the decision that would haunt me forever and save me at the same time. I chose to trust my dog. I pulled out my phone and called Victor's direct line, expecting him to answer with his usual aggressive energy. The man never missed a call, especially on launch days. He once answered his phone during a business dinner with a major investor. But the phone rang once, twice, 3 times, then went to voicemail. "Hey, Victor, it's Janice. I'm having a medical emergency and can't make it to the office. I know the timing is terrible, but I'll dial into the meeting remotely and have my portion of the presentation ready to screen share. I'm really sorry about this." The lie felt bitter on my tongue, but what else could I say? My dog won't let me leave. I'd already burned that bridge with Lily. I opened my laptop and logged into our company Slack, expecting to see the usual morning chaos of messages, everyone hyping each other up for the launch. But the general channel was quiet. The last message was from Lily at 7:45 a.m. Conference room is set up. See everyone in 15 minutes for the meeting that changes our lives. No responses, no reactions, nothing. I checked our project channels, our random channel where people shared memes, even the direct messages. Everything went silent after 8 a.m. My stomach started to churn with something beyond anxiety. This wasn't normal. Even if everyone was in a meeting, someone would be on their phone. Our junior developer, Ethan, literally live tweeted his entire life. Our designer, Mia, never went 5 minutes without posting something on the company Instagram. But all their social media had gone dark at the same time. Bella padded over to where I sat at my desk and rested her head on my lap. Her body was still tense, but she seemed calmer now that I was away from the door. I absently scratched behind her ears while I pulled up our building security portal. As a senior engineer, I had access to the camera feeds for debugging our door sensor integration. I'd never used it for actual surveillance before, but something made me log in and navigate to the live feeds. The parking lot camera showed all the familiar cars, including Lily's Volkswagen parked in her usual spot near the entrance. Victor's Porsche was in the CEO spot. Everyone had arrived, but the front door camera, which should have shown our receptionist, Max, at his desk, showed an empty lobby. Max never left his desk. The guy had a bladder of steel and once bragged about going 8 hours without a bathroom break. I clicked through more cameras. The kitchen was empty. The ping-pong table in the break room sat unused. The open office floor, where 23 people should have been buzzing with nervous energy, was completely still. My hands were shaking now as I grabbed my phone to text Lily. "Hey, is everything okay there? The office looks empty on the cameras." The message showed delivered but not read. I tried Ethan, Mia, Max. All delivered, none read. These people lived on their phones. Ethan once responded to a text while he was in the middle of a coding sprint. The silence was impossible unless something was very, very wrong. I stood up to pace, and Bella immediately positioned herself between me and the door again. "It's okay, girl," I said, though I wasn't sure if I was reassuring her or myself. "I'm not going anywhere." She relaxed slightly but kept watching me. That's when I noticed something else. That sweet metallic smell from last night was stronger now, seeping through the ventilation. Bella noticed it, too, her nose twitching as she sniffed the air with increasing agitation. At 9:47 a.m. My phone exploded with incoming calls, all from Victor. 5 calls in rapid succession before I could even swipe to answer. When I finally picked up on the 6th call, the sound that came through the speaker wasn't Victor's usual confident voice. It was a broken, terrified sob that made every hair on my arms stand up. "Janice, don't come here. Whatever you do, do not come here." Victor's voice was raw, broken in a way that made him sound like a completely different person. I could hear sirens in the background, lots of them, and someone shouting orders. "Victor, what's happening? Where's Lily? Is she okay?" My voice cracked on my sister's name, and Bella pressed closer to my leg, whining softly. "They're all dead, Janice. Every single person who came to the meeting, 23 people. Oh God, I can't. He broke into sobs again, and I heard someone in the background telling him to sit down, that he needed oxygen. What do you mean dead? That's impossible. How can 23 people just die? My legs gave out, and I sank onto my couch, the phone pressed so hard against my ear it hurt. Victor took several shaky breaths before continuing. I was late. My Porsche had a software update that wouldn't let me drive until it finished. I was so pissed, thought I'd miss the equity announcement. But when I got here at 9:30,